On this video, I'm here to tell you why this is the all-time best vehicle for a musician. Okay guys, I know it's not an album review or a cover. The reason why I wanted to put this video together is because a few years ago, I stumbled upon this video and it said, the musician's dream car. It came out December 2013, so over 8 years ago, man. And when I was watching that video, I told myself, I said, man, this guy is ridiculous, man. What are you talking about? Tesla, what the heck are you doing? How are you trying to market this to musicians when you know for a fact artists are all over the place when it comes to our finances, what vehicle we have? God, and you want us to commit to a vehicle that's over $100,000? That's crazy. However, that was me then, 8 years ago, and a lot has changed now. Now the golden question. Why did I decide to go with this vehicle versus all the other ones? I test drove some Jeep Rubicons, I test drove some Ford trucks as well, and this was the last thing I decided to get. And when I went to Tesla's dealership in Virginia, the first thing they said is, hey Omar, take the keys, you can take it, give it back in a week. So they let me keep this thing for almost an entire week. You don't have to pay anything, you just have to sign something that says, obviously you're gonna be held responsible for the vehicle, duh, leave your ID, duh, and then you walk out with a Tesla for a week and try it out in your regular day-to-day. Now, why did I get this car versus the other ones? I'm a family guy, and it was about time that we upgraded so the whole family could get packed in now that it's starting to get warm. Number two, when it comes to gear, man, I got the towing package, so now I can finally haul my trailer around. But you guys already know, musicians, what do? We waste our money on gear, whether if it's cables, MIDI stuff, plugins, guitars, banjos, bass, microphones, you name it. If you're a musician, you've bought it. I have tons of stuff in my house that if I need it, I can throw it in the vehicle. Another thing, outside of music, I work for a wireless company. I'm constantly driving on conference calls, checking on location, store leaders, managers, stuff like that. I definitely needed to make sure that my vehicle was comfortable because I'm gonna be living in it all day, every day. And then of course, YouTube. I love doing this. I love being on this channel. I love doing album reviews. I love reflipping songs and creating renditions. I've had too many close calls where I cannot hear the audio because the gas motor, and I'm not coming for anybody with a gas motor. However, when I was in the vehicle and it was idling because it was cold outside, you couldn't hear anything because it was just so now it is silent. I don't got to worry about anything, right? But those were a lot of the reasons why I got it. Yes, I get it. There's a lot of revenue streams when it comes to Tesla because so many people are making video, doing how-tos, showing you their experiences and stuff like that. Yeah, I could have done a video of me going to pick up the vehicle first day, getting excited and all that stuff. However, after you see 4 of those, it's all the same thing. And one quick side note, every single time those folks find something wrong in their panels, when have you ever seen the video where they say, I'm gonna give the Tesla back, bruh, right? They don't, they just take it because nobody ever gives the thing back. Hopefully that helps you make a decision for yourself if you think you're gonna pick up the Tesla, no matter the model or not. Okay, so now we're gonna get detailed. I'm gonna be splitting up this portion in 6 parts. We're gonna do savings, storage, security, safety, style, and sounds. All gonna be listed down below if you just wanna hop around. And I just wanna give you my take, my perspective, my review. So let's go ahead to the first thing, the savings. I charged this thing all the way to full. I was at like 5 or 6%. We saw 1 episode. The car was full. I couldn't complain. When it comes to savings, going from 5% up to 100% cost me a little over 17 bucks. It was like $17.60. And we're talking about what, 320 miles or a little over 320 miles. And if you look at it, I'm currently in Washington, D.C. Looking at how far you can go with 320 miles, I can get to Connecticut, to Raleigh, North Carolina. You see what I'm saying? You got 17 bucks? Let's go down to North Carolina. And I get it, you know, gas, depending on the vehicle, all that stuff. But when I think about I'm gonna wake up and just go on a trip, that's something to look forward to. And obviously from a musician side, looking at gas expenses and routing and looking at tours and stuff like that, yes, I know things can vary. Whether if it's weight, whether if you're hauling something, whether if you have equipment, whether if it's cold, whether if it's hot, whether if we like the temperature a certain way. I know there's a lot of things that can skew the amount of mileage. However, for me, it's that peace of mind that I can just wake up and go. And it's 2021. We just went through a pandemic. You already know when it comes to shows, especially live shows, they're gonna be so much more intimate. Time will tell. But as a musician, that is what I'm looking at with this new Model Y. Next is storage. I am going to be packing in the back of the trunk, in the front, in the back, and every single thing. I'm gonna be showing you every nick and cranny. Actually, let me show you right now. I'm gonna spin over to my house so I can show you what it's gonna look like. Packing in a drum set, a guitar, a bass, a computer, everything in between. But when it comes to the storage, you open this thing up, boom. You have all of this space. You can open this up. You have all of that space right down there. Then, let me pop this thing. Boom, now the front is open. So now we lift this thing up and you have all of this space as well, right? So, and just like I just showed you, in the back, you'll be able to stuff everything you need to stuff with this height. I can see maybe 2 drum sets back here if need be. But I'm gonna show you exactly what that looks like right now. 4 instruments right there, and then you got the drums in the back. So now you guys know that we can still store everything we need to store in this thing with no problem. So you can't even notice that it's in the back. All right, let's get on to the next one. All right, next is gonna be safety. So the last vehicle I owned, which was my 2008 3500 Chevrolet, rest in peace. I wrecked that on tour in Colorado when we were coming back from the West Coast. And when we smacked, and it was like 9 of us in the van, I mean, it was a crazy, crazy experience. And when it comes to that, I do not play. I'm just not playing with that anymore. So I sat there and looked at a bunch of different crash videos. And when it comes to the framing, how they put everything together, being on the ground, and when I say on the ground, I mean putting all 4 wheels on the pavement and making sure nothing just flip-flops, there's no body roll, none of that stuff. I saw nothing but great reviews with the Model Y. If you're watching this and you have a family or you care about your equipment, that's what I cared about. Next is security. Okay, so listen, from a security side, this thing has cameras everywhere. There's also a consistent recording constantly going on, especially when it's in Sentry mode. Yes, Sentry mode. You see a little dot right there, right? That's going up top. And you can obviously control that, hit that right there, and you're good to go, right? So when it comes to these modes, you can set it up in the settings, so every time you honk, it will take a photo. Just in case anything were to ever happen, you can have it for your insurance company, for the police, and make sure that you protect everything you can. I mean, this thing costs money, and it's only right that if it's not your fault, you have some receipts, some proof. On another note, look at the glove box. Open glove box. You can go ahead and get into the settings and go to your locks for every single thing right then and there. So from a security perspective, I think you're gonna be well overdue when it comes to everything that this thing has to offer. Alright, next is gonna be style. Y'all already know we gotta talk about the swag, you know what I'm saying? Let's call a spade a spade. Every car that I was reviewing, I just wanted to make sure that I had something that looked nice. I'm sorry, listen, I sacrificed my credit when it came to purchasing the van for my band so we can go on tour. We ran through 2 vans, and then I didn't have a vehicle for almost 3 years. So almost 7 years of not having a vehicle that I personally enjoy aesthetically. When it comes to style, that's what I'm talking about. I love this thing, it looks gorgeous. And let's get into the last thing, which, coming from a musician, is probably the most important thing. Okay, so the last thing on my list is sound. And man, I'm telling you, always save the best for last, is because this thing is definitely the best. I gotta tell you, man, when it comes to sound, it was the first thing that I cared about because I'm doing these videos. The moment I played a song and I cranked it up, I fell in love immediately. Just for this last time, let's turn it up to the max and get a take of what this sound system sounds like. Think. Needless to say, the sound quality is epic. 2021 model, that means I got the dual layered glass. The car keeps the outside sounds outside and the inside sounds inside. So let's get into the hack. Let me take it back outside so I can tell you how I saved well over $5 grand on this thing. So now we're back outside, and if you jump to this, hello, maybe you should watch the rest of the video. But if you decided to watch the entire video, I appreciate you. Like, share, comment. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, it is what it is, as long as you get something out of it. But let's get into the hack that I used to save over $5 grand. And it's as simple as this. A simple phone call, right? But I'm not just talking about any call. Listen, this is what you need to do. I'm gonna slow it down for you. Once you pick out the model that you want, spec'd out however you want, whatever you're gonna do, right? Put a hold on it. Check this out. When I ordered the Model Y, at the time, autopilot was $5 grand. I bought it last year is when I put the $100 down, spec'd it out, got the autopilot, got the white seats, got the new rims, got the tow hitch. So technically I should have got a 2020 model, and all I was paying was $5 grand for the autopilot. But here's the thing, I didn't pick it up. I refused to pick up. When they called me, and they will call you 1,001 times. The reason why I stopped is because just like y'all, I started digging in YouTube, checking out, seeing what was new, seeing what was getting refreshed, because the last thing I want was spend all this money and then a week later get gypped because they just upgraded. I wasn't gonna be that guy. So I went ahead, I paid the $100, I spec'd it out. That Wednesday, 2 days later, I did it on Monday, Wednesday morning, autopilot went from 5 to 8. And I was like, oh snap. They were blowing up my phone, man, calling me all day, every day. And then I got to a point where I spoke to a supervisor and I said, hey, listen, man, I got a lot of things going on. However, I don't want to lose out on my $100. Can I put this order on hold? He said, cool, no problem. January comes around, and guess what? Autopilot is 10 grand, bro. It's 10 grand, and I'm still on hold. And they put me on hold out of courtesy up until April. And I was ready to pick up in January because that's when they announced the new refreshes were coming out. VINs were coming out. I was looking at all that stuff, getting lost in the sauce, right? The VINs were coming out, the double-sided window glass thing, the refreshed center console, everything was coming out. And I said, damn, let me keep holding on. Then I saw a lot of videos of folks getting the refreshed model, and I said, woo, now is the time. Now is the time. Called in. It was right around my birthday. I said, hey, listen, I want to pick it up. However, at that time, a few weeks ago, I want to say maybe a month ago, Teslas were upscaling the pricing, downscaling the pricing. So when I hit up my mans that obviously was helping me out do the order, he called me. He said, hey, listen, let's not touch anything as far as the customizing, because if you do, it's going to adjust the pricing. However, because what's listed is this amount, you should be able to get that same amount for the Model Y. And the Model Y, I think, was adjusted by maybe $1 or $2 grand or something like that. So in total, by putting a hold, I saved $8,000 in the vehicle. So if you know you're gonna wanna get one and you're scared that the price might fluctuate, just figure out what makes sense for you. Pay the $100, put a hold on it, call the dealership and just let them know, hey, listen, things are happening in my life. I wanna put this on hold. And they're gonna tell you how far back they can do it. For me, they held it for 2 quarters. And boom, I picked it up right when it was convenient for me, and more importantly, right when the price dropped. So I'm sharing that with y'all so y'all can do whatever y'all want to do with it. Wrapping it all up, if I were to get one today, I would just get the white interior, I would get the rims, but I wouldn't get the tow package and I wouldn't get the autopilot. Because the price of the vehicle is less, automatically that means that taxes is going to be less. And by the time you get to the taxes piece, that thing goes up. So I personally believe that this is the best vehicle in 2021 for a musician. Not a dream car like Elon Musk presented it 8 years ago, but a vehicle that musicians can take advantage of and can purchase. Bro, just do it, man. But other than that, this is my first time doing any types of reviews like this. And if you like my style of reviewing where it's a little quirky and I don't really know all the specs and I'm just giving you average consumer's perspective, then click on the next video, because the next video is going to be my new Architects album review from their newest record that just came out that everybody's been talking about. And if you like that as well, check out the whole playlist. I do rock albums, trap, hip-hop albums, Spanish, Latin trap, reggaeton, dembow. I do all these album reviews and I do a lot of covers as well. And if you dig the music stuff, follow me on Spotify. You know what? I almost forgot. Click the link if you want to get some free supercharger miles, because I'll get some too. Peace.